So this is our first webinar, everybody. We just want to welcome you to the webinar. Thank you for joining us today. If you would, in the chat, please write down what your intention is for doing the detox. Why are you doing the detox? What are your goals? And why are you with us today? All right, so welcome. We're here. We're here because we really want to support you to have a healthy new year.
And
here's what we're going to include today in our webinar. We're going to include the top 5 reasons to do a detox, what to expect when you're doing a detox, some tips and tricks to support your body with the detox, how to reset cravings, and we're going to tell you about our unique approach, including Ron's. Ron's going to share some research he's done with weight loss, and he's going to talk about how he lost 11 pounds in 12 days.
Yep.
We're going to also have time to ask questions and get answers, and then we're going to go over our group-supported 21-day program.
So these are the top 5 reasons to do a detox. So before I just jump into each one of these, I'd like to let you know, most of the time studies don't agree on everything. And it's very, very rare when you find all studies even agreeing even half the time. But there's one thing that all studies that do agree, and I want to make sure it's very clear, is that they all agree that reducing caloric intake for any animal, not just people, increases lifespan. So it's a very important thing for us to understand that our modern age has created a situation where we have food available to us all the time. What that does is it brings a whole host of health issues and problems for us, which if you're here, you're probably already aware of that. However, I do want you to understand that when we take this on, and we're not talking about starving, we're talking about reducing calories, not fasting, not, restricting things to the point of it being difficult and hard for us. All right, so let's go over top 5 reasons to do a detox besides extending life. We'll talk about energy. Energy is, it's very interesting. Energy is something that with my clients, which, by the way, if there's anybody here that doesn't know me, I'm a homeopath, and I've been practicing for over 26 years out of my main office in Palmdale. And I'll have Mary introduce herself when she next speaks as well. But with my clients, we do a special training about teaching them how to develop energy in their life. And many times a person will actually feel better than when they first got ill in the first place because they are managing that energy. Doing a program like this we're going to actually cover those steps very, very carefully, very systematically to make sure that you are able to lift your energy up and hopefully that energy be even higher than prior, even if you were feeling healthy. Resetting cravings, that's really important. I can tell you both fasting and doing a detox program myself many times throughout my life that it is a reset for cravings. Just doing the program, you won't have the same cravings at the end of it, even if you're doing the program at a very reduced level from what others might be doing. Again, it's pretty easy to reset cravings as long as you know how to do that. And again, it makes it so that your lifestyle is, again, healthier for yourself and you can accomplish the goals that you want to do. Lowering inflammation. Again, there's quite a few studies about that again as well. There's studies about, let's see here. Again, this is mostly related to fasting, but it's also related to the detoxing, and I can tell you in practice it's worked profoundly. But a lot of conditions, these are physical health conditions that you can find change dramatically because of lowering inflammation through changing lifestyle. Things like depression, anxiety, bronchial issues, lung issues, things like asthma, heart conditions, digestive, endocrine issues, bone and joints, skin, rheumatism, metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance. Those are all things that we've seen dramatically reduce by, again, changing lifestyle, especially with limiting caloric intake. During our program in particular, and again, you wouldn't find this out with fasting, again, that being that extreme, but in the program, being gentle and taking at your pace, we actually get to discover the links between specific foods, and you may even see the health issues that correspond for you with those specific foods. And again, I give a very specific steps into knowing exactly what foods are harmful to you, so you can either choose to participate with them in a limited sense or get rid of them altogether. We also want to, the last part here is supporting your body to cleanse the toxins. That's pretty obvious. I mean, if we're taking in toxins constantly, our body doesn't get the chance to push them out. And we'll talk about specific ways of doing that, where sleep is also very important for that.
All right, and this is Mary, and I have been a teacher and a spiritual practitioner for many, many years. I'm a yoga teacher, meditation teacher, and I'm also a certified health counselor and a certified natural health practitioner, and I actually interned with Ron for a period of time also. I have a degree in homeopathy too. So that's a little bit about myself and what to expect during this cleanse. If you choose to do this cleanse, I'm not sure. We'll have sign-up information at the end, and stick around also for Ron's story about his research on weight loss. But some things to expect. Usually you experience these things for a brief period of time. It's very common to experience it the first like 3 days. You may have symptoms that feel like hunger, and we like to warn people in advance that you're going to have these symptoms. And some of them are nausea, you may feel lightheaded, brain fog, headache. And some of these are signs of false hunger. They are actually part of the detox process. And if you look at the circle on the side, when we eat toxic food and digest toxic food, we metabolize some toxic waste, and this creates some detox symptoms. And we feel like we need to eat more of that food, because that food will relieve the symptoms because it keeps the stomach full. So it's when we're actually digesting and eliminating the waste that we experience the symptoms. So if we keep pumping in the toxic food, then we will relieve those symptoms. So we want to warn people ahead of time to be aware of these symptoms. It's really part of the process, and the most common one people notice is with coffee, perhaps. And we actually have you come away from coffee very carefully because it is very strong and has those strong symptoms. But people may notice you get a headache when you stop drinking coffee, and it makes you actually crave more coffee to relieve the headache. So that's an example of how this cycle works.
It can even create constipation as well, which again, to slowly reduce, and putting in other things in the program such as fiber make a big difference with that. All right, so should we move on?
Sure.
Okay. So after going through that, and especially going through those things that might be in the way, and again, when we work with this, we do it as gently as possible, so we can even back off if we start to experience some of those at a level that's not very fun. But afterwards, we get way more energy. We seem to have more time because we can focus clearer. Definitely less anxiety. Anxiety is one of the biggest things that we see reduce with people changing their lifestyle. Depression, fear, anxiety, all that seems to start to eliminate naturally by itself. Definitely better sleep. In fact, we would work on that very specifically for each individual. And the weight loss is something, again, it depends on how you take on the program, but we can focus more or less on this for each individual in the program. Again, clarity, we talked about that a moment ago. and then you will have also less overwhelm because of that clarity, and the feelings in general will be higher because your energy will be higher during the program. So there are also, we will cover, which I don't, okay, I see, we'll get that in the next one. Here we go. It's not moving. There we go. So I also want to cover some tips and tricks to support the body detox that we do in the program in particular. One of the biggest and most important things is looking at nutrient-dense foods. If we don't take and put in the nutrient-dense foods, then our cravings stay, because we need something to give us that energy and make us move through things, because it's not supportive of a healthy lifestyle. Yes, Jason?
Yeah, one more thing about the nutrient-dense foods is it prevents that cycle I just spoke about, where we have that kind of toxic hunger.
Mm-hmm. And if you're eating actual foods, and we'll be able to tell you a difference between those as we go through it, because your body specifically tells you which foods are actually foods for you and which foods aren't. And we'll teach you how to discover that for yourself. So we won't be putting this on you. It'll be something that you'll learn to recognize on your own. But if you're eating real foods, that already supports elimination. It's one reason we don't do a intense detox. We don't put a lot of supplements or a lot of things that force your body to express, as I find that imbalances people more, even in practice working with their health. Why would you imbalance a person who's already imbalanced by pushing on particular organs that may not be ready for that? But food does it naturally, and we can learn to do that very, very easily through the program. Liquid meals, we find that resting the digestive system is very important. It's a lot of energy that goes into that. It's most of your immune system is in your gut. So if you're throwing a lot at it, your body doesn't get to rest. It's constantly working and constantly striving to bring in all that. So it's another reason we probably see that eating less calories extends our life. Healthy fats. Now this is really more where my current research is working on this quite a bit, but it's also where there's more chance for weight loss. But I'll let you know, I never take anything on just for weight loss. It actually helps to correct by using more of specific healthy fats. It helps to correct our metabolism, where we are stronger as an individual, but also we're not as insulin resistant. And I found that to be very straightforward, because I've actually been testing my own blood sugar levels during the program, and again found that working with the healthy fats has really dropped my overall blood sugar levels, just generally in my body, and I felt healthier, more energy, and been able to keep the weight off continuously much longer than I've ever done before. Now, decrease the toxic load. Again, we've talked about that with caloric restriction, except for we're going to not only have it be from, not really have it be from caloric restriction, we're going to have it be changing the types of food so it doesn't push on you and your body as much to deal with them. So there'd actually be real foods as opposed to things that aren't real foods. And supplementation. So again, if you're really focused on a specific area like weight loss, but again, this is not about that, it's about health. But if you have a specific goal in mind, you tell us what that is, then we can support you even with some very basic supplementation if we're not getting it from the foods. And the foods are what we'll go for first, though, of course.
All right, and how to reset the cravings. I don't know about you, but my cravings are at an all-time high right now after Christmas and Christmas cookies and all of that. So as you know, as you eat sugar, you start to crave more sugar, and that's how the cycle really works. And it's part of that little circle I showed you when we have that that kind of toxic waste, and then we have the side effects. They're actually like withdrawal symptoms. We crave more.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, we are going to eliminate some of your most addictive foods. And we have a gentle process of elimination, and you're going to pick what you want to eliminate first, and we do it in steps and really support you with that. And I really believe in adding in things that will support you. It's a lot easier to add things in than to focus all on elimination. So that's why this is really a gentle detox. We're going to add in the nutrient-rich foods. We're going to add in lots of liquids. As you've heard perhaps before, sometimes your cravings are as a result of being dehydrated. And I also believe fresh foods, fresh raw foods are some of the best things for hydration. Sometimes it even feels better than drinking a glass of water for me. Adding healthy fats, Ron's mentioned the fats.
And that, just if I can say something real quick, we're talking about those cravings. I've already stopped or gone back to not eating them, and I don't have the cravings again. It's the healthy fats have such a great impact that we didn't have last time or the previous times that we've done our detoxes. I'm really excited to actually bring this and present this and to teach this new information, and specifically having been using it for over, for 6 months actually for myself already. So I'm working very well.
Yeah, and you got to figure you need something to satisfy you, and if most people will go to maybe sugar or carbohydrates. However, when you go to fat for satisfaction, it really satisfies the body, it satisfies the cravings, and it does it in a much more healthy way, and does not contribute to inflammation like some of the other things we choose. And then the last thing is play. This is a fun detox, and if you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying your life, you're gonna try to seek that elsewhere, and so I've experienced this where if you're just working all day, every day, and you're not playing, you're not enjoying life, it seems like the only thing you have is food for enjoyment, and so we want to shift that and have your life become more fun.
And that's one of our things that we talk about in this program in particular, which is the 5 pillars, the 5+1 pillars of health, so that you actually have that energy again. That doesn't drag you down into craving those foods when you don't have that energy. So we help replace that energy. And again, the first top 2 ones are the sleep and the play. And we make sure we deal and handle with that right away. Should we go next?
All right, so this is our unique approach. We do have a supported online program that we're running, and we have an option for you to sign up for that program. There's a link under the description here. And it's a unique approach because it's very flexible. So with our detox, we don't say you have to do this now, you have to eat this exact food at this time on this day. I know that I hate to be pinned down that way myself. So I've developed a really flexible program. There's 4 stages that you move through, and you get to choose which stage you start in depending on where you are at right now with your diet. We have a full range of people. Some people may already have eliminated a lot of toxic foods from their diet, and some people this might be the first detox you're doing or the first health program.
Yes, and I just wanted to say that, for somebody like me, I do need to have the rules to follow myself. So they are presented, and you can follow them, so it's very close. And again, you can accelerate that or decelerate for what you need and what your body tells you that you need. And again, we'll help you to understand what your body's telling you as you move through them as well. Because we don't want to just drop everything once we start to feel a headache come on if we are detoxing from a specific food like the coffee. But going back to that again, we can take a couple sips of it, knock the headache out in order to handle that, and then move back on, and we don't have to crash by just going back to coffee and crash the whole program. We can actually just take those sips and do great, get rid of the headache, and move on, and still continue and keep it developing.
So with the 4-stage system, each stage kind of up levels your detox, and so the way we move through the stages is by listening to your body, and when you start to have more energy, it's time to progress to the next stage.
Yeah.
So you will be choosing your foods. I do provide a lot of recipes, a lot of ideas, some food lists of things to work with, and ultimately you will be choosing which foods you're eating, and so you can eat foods that you still like.
Yeah, and that's the best part about doing the program where we're both involved is in the office, it's an area that I lack, is providing the foods that actually can replace the ones where Mary is very good at that. And so she can bring that to you with those recipes and with those choices. Again, I get very centered on just a few things, but again, we're much more variety with Mary taking that on for us.
Yeah, so the recipes are really simple without a ton of ingredients. I make it adaptable so you can take it to work easily. You can take things on the go very easily. And Ron, like he shared before, you may want to share a little bit more about his success with his weight loss program, which was a health program. Did you want to share more about that, Ron?
A little bit, but I think we've already talked about it. There's quite a bit to it. It's not just having more fats. It's certain types of fat. It's restricting or taking away other fats that are unhealthy, that we've even been taught in our society that are supposed to be healthy, but they really aren't at all. It's also not having too much protein. A lot of programs that you may have heard of ketogenic will actually require a certain amount of protein, whereas that protein, for some of us, with our bodies, will be converted to sugar. So it's actually creating a certain balance with that protein, and then reducing, not getting rid of, but reducing the carbohydrates just enough to where we actually start to move into a little bit of ketosis. This is not dramatic ketosis by any means. At least it hasn't been for me, but it did produce on a result that I did not expect at all, which was really to lose that 11 pounds in 12 days and not feel like I was in any way missing food. In fact, I would feel very full, if not overly full, and I had no problem grabbing certain things to help me feel better. If I started having, again, the cravings I get are not real food cravings. I'm never really hungry. It's very rare. Now I can get real hungry, but before I never was hungry. It was always just the anxieties, just the anxiousness from not continuing my habits or the situations that I were in that I didn't recognize that were giving me stress. So again, it's really fun to be able to present this time. Very, very different from what we've been able to do in the past.
Yeah, and if you, we also have things to help you work with stress. Like I said, I teach meditation and yoga, so I am going to be sending out a yoga video for the morning that gives you a lot of energy and works with your breath and will help wake you up and set the tone for your day in the morning.
Yeah, just that day focus, beginning right the day, is just invaluable.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a very unique part of our program as well.
I have a short meditation video I'll be sending out. We have exploratory worksheets, so they're like fillable PDF worksheets. They're really more like journaling questions. They're just some self-exploration, like what are your triggers, or why do you crave certain things, and how they relate to certain patterns in your life and things like that. Really useful information for making lasting change, and that's our main goal, is to help you shift your health permanently. I really don't like yo-yo dieting and yo-yo kind of binging and detoxing. It's actually a really unhealthy pattern. So we're just going to make this very gentle and focus on changing habits. And once you bring in these positive habits and you realize how good you feel, often you don't want to go back to some of the other habits.
Or feel a need to. Again, this is just with the new stuff that we put in for this year. I've already been doing it for 6 months myself, and I go right after. I still have fun. I still go out and play. Like we went off to Yosemite and had a great time and ate. I made myself some chocolate chip cookies and ate them every single day 2 days prior and had all that fun. But they're gone and I'm done. And I don't feel a need for them anymore. And the weight just comes back off. So there's not this yo-yo or a need or a desire for it. I feel really very good. So all the practices that Mary brings and that we bring, that's more of a physiological practices. Again, I've been testing these for 6 months recently. I've never had that extension of time before, where I always reset my body down to a lower level. And speaking of resetting, personally, I'm 10 pounds lighter than I've ever been, even after detoxes before, and it's not bouncing up again. It's staying at that, which I find, again, extremely healthy, extremely beneficial, and I'm looking forward, so I'm going to be participating with this with you to see if it even resets me even further. And so again, that's what we're doing and why we're doing it and the fun part of doing it.
All right, so just a little bit about this is not the webinar, sorry, that's an error on the slide. It's an introduction to our online program. Right now you're in our free webinar. So we have an online 21-day supported program that's called the Cruelty-Free Detox Online. And so in that program, I'm going to be delivering things to your inbox. So you will get inspiring emails, you will get the recipes, PDFs, exploratory worksheets, the videos will come into your email. All the instructions for doing the detox will come into your email. We're also going to have a live group coaching kind of weekly webinar that we're going to do in a manner similar to this. However, with more interaction, more questions and answers. We also will have a private Facebook group where you can ask questions there. You can post your successes, your challenges. It's a place where everybody can post and respond to each other and inspire each other.
And support each other. The community part of it is, again, something we can't do ourselves. The community part of it is so important, and I don't know how to properly relay the importance of community and health, but we have so many people. I don't know about you, but every time I go onto a program and I go over to someone's house or visit them, or it's almost like they're insulted, or maybe I feel they're insulted, but many times it's like, oh, come on, you could just have some of this time, or you can drink with me this time, or you can do this, and that's something that I think, I've never not faced that going through a change in my lifestyle. In fact, it really is my life that I constantly have to work with that. But having a community that supports me and maybe sets me up before I go, even by giving me ideas of what I can bring or what I can do beforehand to prepare for that, is hugely beneficial. So it's not just Mary and me, it's also all of us together working to support each other and having a community to kind of not push back, but to kind of help shift the other communities that may not support us in having the healthiest of lifestyles, or what got us here where we feel we needed change in the first place. Okay, let's see, we've got, yes. Is this mine? Oh, so I just want to make sure that you understand this is all about taking care of yourself. And so I want to cover a couple things that I want you to be aware of, either going to this program or, like we said, if you take this on for yourself, doing some of this yourself, I also want you aware of these as well, because we can't watch you from this point on or anything like that unless you do follow in the program, and even then, you still have to be responsible for your health. So one of the things, if you have a chronic disease or a serious health condition, I would suggest you might need some additional support. Now again, it's not every chronic disease, but something I want to point out, like most of these things are with fasting. With fasting, you go into a place that's really intensive acidosis. So somebody that had a chronic liver issue would not do well with fasting. The other thing, even with our program, if you have a chronic liver issue, you're going to need to be supported with something like maybe some digestive enzymes that actually take on fats, or something to help your liver actually process going through a detox. So, a chronic hepatitis, anything like that, really needs to be watched pretty carefully. Now, there is some great information, especially with fasting, for something like cancer, right? So that it's been extremely supportive of people doing chemo. It helps to greatly reduce the toxic effects of chemo, and it supports the chemo in killing the cancer. There's a lot of that information coming out now. So again, what we're looking at is health, and different situations require a different focus for each individual. So if you don't know, you're welcome to schedule an appointment with me, or there's some other support, like Mary will be offering special private support sessions for individual tailored food plans, some coaching to help you get through it, also some soul remembering sessions, which I have found very helpful in terms of helping me to deal with the anxieties that come up, and where and understanding where they're coming from, and again shifting them as well. The last thing is to check with your doctor, whoever your healthcare practitioner is, before at any time if you feel a need or a concern. Again, you are responsible for your health, but I'll let you know that any self-paced, gentle program should not trigger a strong challenge to your health. So again, we're being extremely gentle. I don't know of any program I've ever seen or that I've jumped onto, or even the books that I've read, that's ever been as gentle as what we do. And being self-paced, we're very committed to teaching you how to have your body tell you and dictate where you need to go and where maybe you shouldn't go right now. Anything you'd like to add, Mary? Or
Yeah, we'll be offering discounts for people that sign up for our online program for those private sessions. And they are supplemental. They're not included in the actual online detox program.
So I'm going to bring this back over to us. Did we get any questions on there? Can you see on that? Can we see any questions?
Yeah. Well, the next slide actually
sorry.
opens it up for questions here. So we'd like to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, type them into the chat. Also, there is a link below. It says, join us for our full 21-day supported group, Cruelty-Free Detox online. And there's a registration link there. You can just click on that link if you would like to register now. If you have more questions, type them in the chat. And, of course, feel free to reach out to us personally,
if you respond to the emails that we sent out, that comes to my personal email, so we can answer your questions if they're very private, and you don't want to necessarily put them into a group situation like this. So, again, you're welcome to do that. And then please, if you have questions now, let us know what they are, and we'll try and answer them if this works. Because the first time we're doing it, so we're not sure if.
All right. Does anybody have any questions? If not, you can email us. Please just reply to the email that was sent to you about the program. And hopefully I look forward to us working together and doing a detox together. I'm really excited about doing the detox.
Trying to figure out where my hand goes is to wave. That's a pretty big hand.
I'm hoping to join Ron with his diet so we can be on the same page in the future.
Yes. That will be our meals, the same meals. That'd be great. A lot less work together. Yeah, you may want to actually do this with a partner in your home if you have that available to you, or they decide to want to do that with you. Again, that's all something we would support you with, increasing your community, to support you with your lifestyle changes at your pace. But having somebody there is always great, that's for sure. Yeah.
If you have a group, you can always email us. We can see about giving you a discount for a small group. If you want to do it with family and friends, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And one thing that we've been doing together, I've been making dinners that follow Ron's protocol, and then he's been making his own kind of breakfasts and lunches. So there's ways to do it with family members too, where you have some separate meals, some meals that are the same, and it can all work out. It's been working out well for us.
Yeah, my breakfasts and lunches, they're very quick. They're not a hassle. They're very easy. I'm out the door way faster than I used to be. It's about the time of cooking a couple of eggs over easy, but that's not always my breakfast. That's not what I do. But again, it can be that quick and that easy. All right. So thank you. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. We look forward to seeing you. And
let me
take
check
care
the
of
chat
yourselves.
one more time, Ron.
Okay. I don't see anything here.
I do have here.
Okay.
Stacy's asking, if you are already doing a dietary plan, will your program allow me to adapt what I am already doing?
Oh, yes. So, Stacy, I do know you, so your program can definitely adapt. Actually, any program can adapt to what you're already doing. It already sounds like it's very similar approach already. So, yes, you're very welcome. Thank you for that question. That others might be pretty much, Again, I don't know every dietary lifestyle that's out there, so I can't say that every single one will adapt to it, but it would be hard to find a healthy lifestyle that wouldn't adapt to this program. And just tweaking it a little, really, I mean, I did not change that much from what I did normally, but it made dramatic results in my body. So, and they've stayed. So, for 6 months at least. And I'm, again, with your support and doing this together, I'm looking forward to it being at least another 6 months and hopefully for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of inspiration coming at you in those emails and with the Facebook page and with all the links and things I'll be sending you. And it's going to be great exploration for anybody, really.
Yes. So again, thank you very much.
And it's going to be fun.
Yes, it definitely will be oriented around fun because I won't let you out without having some fun. So thank you, and we look forward to working with you if you choose to, and if you don't, we also look forward to supporting you any way we can. So please just let us know what you need.
Yeah, hopefully this webinar will support everybody. All right. Have a great day. Happy New Year,
Happy
everybody.
New Year. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.